Singapore's chewing gum ban. Imagine this. You're at the airport in Singapore, pop a stick of gum into your mouth, and boom, you've just broken a law. Back in the early 1990s, Singapore's pristine subway system was being sabotaged. People were sticking gum on the train doors, sensors, and escalators. The government had had enough. So they banned gum entirely. To this day, you can only buy chewing gum with a doctor's prescription. That's right, gum became a controlled substance. It's kind of like banning forks, because someone poked a hole in their tire with one. Drastic? Maybe. But effective? Singapore is now one of the cleanest cities in the world. Denmark's baby name law. Thinking of naming your baby Thor, Banana, or XA12? Not so fast, at least not in Denmark. Here, you have to choose from a list of over 7,000 approved names. If your chosen name isn't on the list, you must apply for permission, and the government might say no. Why? They argue it's to protect children from weird or offensive names. But still, imagine your future child being rejected at birth. Literally. Japan's Metabo law, the waistline police. Yes, it's real. In Japan, there's a law requiring men and women over 40 to have their waistlines measured once a year. Too many centimeters over. The company you work for gets penalized, and you're enrolled in mandatory health classes. A friend of mine once joked that in Japan, your belt might rat you out before your doctor does. Imagine if your office's annual review included a weigh-in. Sorry, Jeff, no bonus this year. You had one too many machi. UK's dying in Parliament is illegal. Sounds absurd, right? Yet this has been floated as a legitimate rule in the British Parliament. The idea was, if you died in Parliament, you were technically entitled to a state funeral. So better not. Of course, it's never been enforced. What are they going to do? Find a corpse. Switzerland's toilet flush curfew. In some Swiss apartment buildings, it's illegal to flush your toilet after 10 p.m. Why? Noise pollution. In buildings with thin walls and closely packed families, every little sound counts. Switzerland treats nighttime silence the way New York treats bagels, with religious devotion. Australia's Witchcraft Act. Until 2005, pretending to be a witch in parts of Australia could land you in jail. This law dated back to 1735 England and was used to crack down on fortune tellers. It was finally repealed because, well, we stopped burning witches a while ago. Hopefully. Italy's sandcastle ban. On Heraclea Beach near Venice, you're not allowed to build sandcastles. Why? They disrupt the aesthetic harmony and pose tripping hazards. Imagine your 6-year-old being chased off the beach for building a tiny turret. This is a restricted zone, Timmy. Today's laws can be strange, but let's go back in time. Because our ancestors, their rituals make these modern laws look like guidelines from a daycare center. Bridge sacrifices. Ancient builders in Eastern Europe and Asia believed that major structures, like bridges or castles, needed a soul to stand strong. How did they give it one? By sacrificing a living human, often burying them alive in the foundations. In Romanian folklore, the legend of Master Manol tells of a builder forced to entomb his own wife inside a monastery wall to stop it from collapsing. Talk about putting your life into your work. Scapegoating ritual. Ever used the term scapegoat? It comes from an ancient Jewish ritual where a goat symbolically carried the sins of the people and was then sent into the desert, banished, alone. We still scapegoat today, to swap the goat for someone at the office. Viking blood eagle. This one is brutal. The Vikings, known for their creative violence, reportedly performed a ritual called the blood eagle. The victim's ribs were cut open from the back and pulled outward to resemble wings. Then their lungs were draped over the ribs. Historians argue whether this really happened or was just Norse myth. Either way, it sent a clear message. Don't mess with the Vikings. Persian drunken debate ritual. In ancient Persia, if you proposed an idea, it had to pass 2 tests, sober discussion and drunk debate. If it made sense both times, good idea. Imagine your company boardroom turning into a pub quiz night before finalizing decisions. Egyptian opening of the mouth. To help the dead function in the afterlife, priests would perform a ceremony on mummies to open their mouths, literally, so they could breathe, speak, eat. They used chisels and sacred tools to pry open lips and jaws. This was taken so seriously, even statues of the deceased received the ritual. Spartan cryptia. Spartans believed in survival of the fittest. Their young warriors went through the cryptia, a secret ritual where boys would stalk and kill helots, the enslaved class, to prove their strength. Spartan teens weren't playing Fortnite. They were literally training for psychological warfare. Roman Saturnalia festival. Slaves and masters switched roles. Gambling was allowed. Rules were suspended. It was chaos, and people loved it. This upside-down holiday inspired many Christmas traditions, like gift-giving and feasting. From modern laws about gum and waistlines to ancient rituals involving blood, sacrifice, and drunken wisdom, it's clear that humans have always walked a fine line between order and absurdity. Maybe our weirdest moments say the most about who we are, about our need to control the chaos, give meaning to death, or just make sure no one builds a sandcastle where they shouldn't. Which one of these stories blew your mind the most? Drop a comment below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you love peeling back the layers of strange, forgotten history, hit that like button and subscribe to Hidden Histories Hub. We've got more where that came from. Until next time, stay curious.